Spooky season is here, and I wanted to slay some demons, and what better way to do that than by doing an anime versus manga comparison video on the Demon Slayer Mugen Train movie. Now, the Mugen Train movie dropped back on October 16th, 2020, with a budget of about $15.8 million. Since then, the movie has grossed over $503 million worldwide. This movie deadass dropped in the middle of a pandemic and came out walking with the heaviest bag known to man during these stressful times. Ain't that right, Hikaru Kondo? But yeah, this movie basically is the highest grossing anime and Japanese film of all time, and with it being a direct sequel to the first season of Demon Slayer, with it covering the Mugen Train arc from the manga and adapting it into a full-fledged anime film, let's see what was changed or how much was changed, removed, or perhaps done better from the manga to anime adaptation. Side note, I won't be going over every little addition, removal, or change because then we'll be here for years. Just the bigger ones and stuff I think is pretty noteworthy or just interesting little changes. To kick things off, the movie opens with an anime-only prologue scene showing Ubuyashiki walking through a cemetery filled with dead demon slayers and him listing off the names of some of the demon slayers who are all buried there. And it's a good thing he only named some of them because god damn, that is a lot of dead demon slayers. But hold on. Before I continue on with this, I'm gonna have to come at my boy's life real quick. Boy, what the fuck is wrong with the top of your head? Why is this man's over here looking like Frieza's nutsack? Dude looking like the top of Captain Ginyu's head, boy. Gomu Gomu no Mi head ass. A raisin looking ass. Bruh, this dude is ugly as hell, but I can't hate too much because one, he's a real ass dude, and two, his wife, kind of a baddie though, and I know he be slaying that cause dude got like 5 kids. So after Ubuyashiki says some sad and inspirational stuff, the prologue basically ends, and then the movie picks up where season 1 left off on, where Tanjiro's happy ass, Inosuke's crazy ass, and Zenitsu's weird ass all gets on the train. Now here, both the movie and season 1 actually change up the scene quite a bit because in the manga they never run after the train. They are just on the train from one panel to the next. The train actually doesn't even start moving until a little after they all run into Rengoku, which, as you can imagine, the little panel of Zenitsu saying that the train is moving while they were sitting was cut from the movie. But I do really like the little addition of them having to run after the train, just because Zenitsu's slow ass got to suffer a little bit by almost getting left behind. The movie also adds in some extra scenes of the train moving and Tanjiro being nice to people, which Tanjiro always being a little too nice, but I'ma let it slide this time since he was helping an old lady with her bag. One thing that the movie does remove from this scene is the scene of Inosuke's dumbass yelling that they were inside the beast's belly and that they should take it down, which was him referring to the train. And I guess in hindsight, he technically isn't wrong about needing to take down the train, but he's still kind of dumb for that. Like, if you don't calm your ass down before you start a panic in the train. After the title card, we finally get to see the real star of the movie, the fire goat himself, the flame Hashira Rengoku. Now, when it comes to Rengoku, I'm gonna be real with you guys. This man is straight up Black Air Force energy personified. This man, bro, when the whole squad got put under that demon's genjutsu and then they were all asleep and this girl was going to stab his spiritual core, this man's body, while he was dreaming, instinctively knew that something wasn't right, and his physical body, while sleeping, just straight up stood up and choked the bitch. And not once did he let go of her neck until he was released from the demon's genjutsu. The dude was ready for all of that smoke while in his sleep. Honestly, I'm surprised he didn't kill her with how tight he was gripping her neck. I'm not even going to get started on his fight with Akaza. I'll get to that later. Needless to say, Rengoku is a savage, okay? But yeah, when we finally see Rengoku in the movie, the level of detail that they put showing what he was eating looked so good. Shout out to Ufotable because they really didn't have to go that hard just on how the food looked. Like, we didn't even see how it looked in the manga, but the anime really made it look so so good that we know Rengoku wasn't capping when he said it was delicious like a million times. And before we move on, I'm going to come clean real quick because I know someone is going to point this out in the comment section below, but yeah, the anime is leagues better than the manga in almost every aspect when it comes to Demon Slayer. Don't get me wrong, the manga is still cool, but I hate that the characters always have these goofy looking faces on sometimes. Even in scenes that aren't really meant to be funny and are serious, the characters would have these goofy looking heads on. It's almost as if Gotoge just didn't have the time to draw them, so they were like, this'll do. Again, no hate on the mangaka because Demon Slayer is fire, but for me, the anime takes the cake all the way because Ufotable really went crazy with how the whole series just looks like a high budget anime movie. So props to them for real. So as they are talking to Rengoku, the anime adds in them all introducing themselves and Tanjiro telling Rengoku why they were there on the train in the first place. Basically right when they meet to right up until Rengoku says that he doesn't know anything about the hinokami Kagura is anime only. Now when the first demon on the train shows up, this is what I meant by not only the anime being way better than the manga, but that Rengoku is Black Air Force energy personified, because the animation here when Rengoku whips out his sword and cuts the demon's head off looked so good that it was disgusting with how good it looked. Rengoku really just stood up from his seat and without hesitation sent this demon to the Shadow Realm. The movie even extends this scene by having a whole other demon that Rengoku just shits on, sending the two of them back to the lobby screen. Even though it's shown to be that the whole thing was just a dream sequence, Rengoku really doesn't play when it comes to slaying demons. After this, when we see that the gang's all knocked out and we are finally introduced to Enmu, which also, real quick, was I the only one that got Frieza vibes and flashbacks where they thought that Enmu was a woman but was really a guy the whole time? Please tell me I wasn't the only one who thought that, because I had a whole Berlizzi moment when Enmu showed up. I was like,
she kinda bad though. Is that Frost?
Anyways, moving on, when we hop into Tanjiro's dream, the movie adds in him mindlessly walking through the snow forest, which I really like the way the anime makes it so that he is aware that something is off, as we still see him in his Demon Slayer Corps uniform. But after he sees his brother and sister, his outfit completely changes after he knocks them over and hugs them. Definitely a really cool way to show us that Tanjiro has fallen deeper into his sleep, like how Enmu said that they would when he was telling those kids to wait for them to fall deeper into their sleep. Now in the manga, when we see Tanjiro in his dream, he is already in his original outfit from the beginning of the series. Also, he doesn't completely tackle his siblings to the ground, which I think the movie definitely really emphasized just how much he missed his family with that tackle. When the kids are tying the ropes around the squad's arms, this dude menacingly tying up Zenitsu's arm was removed. Switching back over to Tanjiro's dream, for some detail removed, when we see Tanjiro's mother smiling, the movie removes Tanjiro's brother from the background. And yo, I'm not gonna lie, I almost forgot how much of a baddie Tanjiro's mom really looked in the anime. Bruh, let me find out if she trying to do a little something strange, I'll show her what demon time really looking like. Nah, but for real, rest in peace to Tanjiro's mom and whole family. They really did not deserve what they got, but it be like that when your son is the anime's protagonist. Hey, I don't write the rules. If your son is the anime protagonist, it's 99.9999999% chance that you wasn't gonna make it past chapter 1. Moving on, the movie also changes this scene of Tanjiro laughing with his siblings just a bit by having it take place outside, with Tanjiro going out to sell coal instead of inside his house. Before switching over to Zenitsu's dream, the movie changes the way we enter into the main trio's dream by showing them sinking into this water and not from a close-up of them on the train like in the manga. When we do switch over to Zenitsu's dream, the movie extends his dream by a bit by adding in him carrying Nezuko and him using thunder breathing to cross the river faster. I'm sorry, but Zenitsu is so goofy, bro. Just look at the way this dude gets all hype crossing the river river. In Inosuke's dream, the movie actually shows what the cave master that they were looking for looks like, and the cave master is literally the Mugen train, but as a giant centipede. This is honestly why Inosuke is my favorite character in Demon Slayer. When Enmu is talking to himself about what the rope and his technique does, it kind of felt a little weird because who the hell was this man even talking to? I get why they did that so that the narration in the manga about the rope gets explained, but when you really think about it, why would he just announce it like that with no one to hear him say it? He already put everyone who could have heard it to sleep, so I don't get why he would just announce it like that to himself. Anyways, the movie also makes it so that Enmu is shown telling the kids how the dream realm works. In the manga, we only get that explanation through narration and not through a flashback by Enmu himself. So when Rengoku is choking the living shit out of this girl, leaving grip marks all over her neck, the movie removes the narration explaining Enmu's plan and why he was playing it so cautiously with the Demon Slayers, because if they would have sensed him, there would have been a chance that they could have broken out of the spell. Also, how Rengoku's body just instantly protected himself and why he didn't just end the girl's life right then and there, which was because he can't kill a human. Back in Tanjiro's dream, everything from his family going to eat rice crackers up until Tanjiro asks where's Nezuko was all anime only scenes. Though it was filler content, I really like how these scenes give us some more interaction with his family. The scene showing the tuberculosis kid hiding in the trees and him being a little conflicted on what he's about to do, and Tanjiro picking up the basket and saying let's go Nezuko, making him realize that something was off, were all nice touches to the movie. After Tanjiro gets a wake up call from himself, Nezuko on the train uses Tanjiro's arm to pet herself, but in the manga she only thinks about getting a pat on the head. Now, after Nezuko lights his ass on fire, Tanjiro leaving his family was definitely one of the saddest moments in the movie, especially when he was going on about how he should have just been making charcoal with his family and not swinging around a katana. Then the movie adds in these scenes of this what if life of him making charcoal and being with his family. Not gonna lie, those added in scenes felt like Truck-kun hit me really hard. Switching back to Inosuke's and Zenitsu's dreams, the movie extends them by a bit and also removes the narration explaining that in the subconscious realm there shouldn't be anyone else in it, but when it comes to someone strong-willed or someone with a strong ego, then there are cases where that person may exist in the subconscious realm, which is why there was a murderous Zenitsu and a beast version of Inosuke in their respective subconsciousnesses. In Tanjiro's dream, the movie removes the narration explaining why his dad just magically shows up, and basically his instinct took the form of himself earlier and of his dad to warn himself about what he has to do in order to wake up. Surprisingly enough, when Tanjiro slits his own throat, it's pretty censored compared to the manga. After this, the movie removes the narration explaining that if Tanjiro had cut the ropes with his Nichirin sword, the person who wasn't the dreamer wouldn't regain consciousness ever again. So basically, those little kids would have gotten murked if he had cut the ropes himself and not let Nezuko burn them off. When we see the tuberculosis kid searching for Tanjiro's spiritual core, the movie removes the spirits comforting the boy when he's crying. The scene of him being pulled out of Tanjiro's dream to the real world and him taking one of the shining sprites with him that now resides in his heart was removed as well. The movie also removes the explanation on why Enmu doesn't enter into another person's dream, which was because the same thing that happened to the tuberculosis kid with him becoming good could happen to him too. The scene showing Enmu torturing this guy is an anime only edition. For a detail change in the movie, when Tanjiro is about to hit Enmu with the constant flux, the water dragon in the manga looked more dragon than water like in the movie. Also, I have to say it, the Tanjiro versus Enmu fight on top of the train was stunning. The detail and care that went into this and every other fight in the movie was amazing. And no cap, the addition of Tanjiro's dad throwing the cup at his head was hella disrespectful. I don't care if it was a dream, hands would have been thrown. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the CGI after Tanjiro cut off Enmu's head was dirt. CGI blob Enmu was probably the one thing I didn't like from the movie. Other than that, I did like the CGI mixed in with 2D animation when everyone everyone was cutting off the blobs to protect the people on the train. I thought that at least looked pretty decent. So after this, when we see Nezuko burning the tickets, that was actually a deleted scene that didn't make it into the manga. The explanation of Inosuke's crazy cutting move was removed as well. Enmu giving off the Hisoka vibes was also a movie-only addition. Seeing Zenitsu zoom through all of the train carts to save Nezuko was also a movie addition, as well as Rengoku blasting through the carts too, and they were such sweet visuals. It's little additions like these that really make the anime better than the manga, for me at least. The movie even has some added shots of Rengoku when Tanjiro and Inosuke talk about him in admiration. The first page of chapter 61, giving a brief recap of what everyone was up to, didn't get adapted into the movie, and for good reason. Enmu screaming when Tanjiro saves Inosuke was added in as well. For an interesting name change, Inosuke's beast-breathing second fang Slice was originally called Slice and Dice in the manga. I'm not really sure why this name got changed for this scene only, but definitely it was a weird one at that, since later on he actually says Slice and Dice using that same move the second time he does it. Now, Tanjiro saving the train engineer and Enmu changing the shape of the train cart never actually happens in the manga. When Tanjiro is telling Inosuke that they should sync up their breathing together in the manga, he says all of that while they are fighting off Enmu's blob arms back to back, which I feel would have made for a cooler scene than him saving the train conductor and Enmu changing the shape of the cart, which that scene does end up making it into the movie, but I feel like that should have just been that scene instead of him saving the train engineer. Alright, here when Tanjiro is getting put to sleep over and over again, the shots of Tanjiro ending himself were added into the movie, and damn, I'm not gonna lie, Tanjiro has balls of steel to just keep doing that to himself over and over again in his dreams. I don't care if it is a dream, that still takes guts. Also, the train engineer's inner thoughts about getting in between Inosuke and Tanjiro is removed as well. For another movie-only addition, Tanjiro never in the manga pulls the train conductor to the side after getting stabbed. He just knocks him out and gets back to business. Not gonna lie, Tanjiro in the movie is a little too soft. Like, dude just got stabbed and still helped the guy that stabbed him. Hell nah, I would have knocked him out and shanked his ass right back just to be safe. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, but yeah, Tanjiro and Inosuke's tag team against Enmu's neck was pretty fire. After Enmu's head gets cut off for real this time, the movie removes Tanjiro and Inosuke covering their ears from Enmu's scream and replaces it with some shots of Rengoku and Zenitsu and Nezuko. Alright, now with the arrival of Akaza, the movie kinda doesn't show his explosive landing, but that's besides the point. Remember when I said Rengoku was Black Air Force energy personified? Well, I wasn't lying, but Akaza is also Black Air Force energy personified. This man pulled up, didn't say a damn thing, and tried to kill Tanjiro because he was so weak he didn't want him to ruin his conversation with Rengoku. This man is a savage, but he's still a hoe for leaving and running from the fight. I'm not gonna lie. Still, the dude was throwing hands like crazy, and Rengoku was killing it too. I'm not gonna sell him short. Both of them was going crazy in this fight. Shit, they even gave Rengoku a whole new move called Blazing Universe for this fight in the movie. The fight even gets extended just so we can see these two beasts just throwing it down. And even though the fight in the movie is slightly different with the added in scenes and all, the fight is just something else. Now, earlier I said the animation was disgusting with how good it looked, and that was for some weak ass dream demons. The animation in this fight in particular is beyond disgusting with how good it looks. It's so disgusting that it went back to being the most beautiful animation I've ever seen. It surpassed the nasty meter into the we didn't deserve this god meter. When I say the manga has nothing on the movie or anime, I mean it. This fight was god tier in the movie. If any of you say that the fight was better in the manga, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to slap the shit out of you for being hella disrespectful, because there is no way you're gonna see all of this animation and tell me these weak ass panels is better. That I will not let slide. But the fight was really good. Like, rest in peace Rengoku, man. He was definitely a real one. Moving on, after Rengoku and Akaza's fight is basically over and Akaza is trying to escape Rengoku's hold on him because the sunlight was going to end him, the movie shows Akaza tearing off his arms to escape. The movie also doesn't show Akaza's perspective of him looking back at Tanjiro the first time when Tanjiro's sword is tossed into his back. And finally, for the final changes in the movie, when Tanjiro and Inosuke are crying over Rengoku's death, the medics don't arrive to help like they did in the manga, and Rengoku's bird is shown shedding a tear, which is a nice touch. The narration saying news of Rengoku's death soon reached Ubuyashiki, and the Hashira was removed as well. Lastly, the movie ends with Tanjiro clutching his chest saying Rengoku's name, which was also an added in scene. Now, the Demon Slayer Mugen Train movie covers a total of 13 chapters, them being chapters 54 through 66. Now, the movie was amazing, and even though there was some cuts and changes from the manga, a lot of them weren't even that big a deal in my opinion. The only changes that I felt were needed were the narrations that ended up being removed that explained certain things. Now, like I said in the beginning of the video, I wasn't going to go over every single change in the movie since the video would be like a year long, but even the little changes that I didn't cover didn't really matter all that much, which is a good thing. Plus, I don't think we will have to worry all that much about those missing scenes and dialogues since season 2 of the Demon Slayer anime is going to be redoing the Mugen Train arc for the first 7 episodes. All of the stuff missing will most likely show up in the anime, which honestly makes me wonder what the hell was the point in turning the Mugen Train arc into a movie in the first place. I would have honestly preferred a side adventure with the gang fighting a lower rank demon who betrayed Muzan and was on the run from him, but he was still a terrible person, so the squad still had to fight him, you know? Something like that would have been cool to see, but who knows, maybe the movie wouldn't have made all that much money if it wasn't adapting source material and was promoted like if it was a must watch. Which, yeah, it is a good watch, but the fact that it's going to be in the anime again makes it kind of not a must watch anymore. Hopefully, if they decide to make another Demon Slayer movie, it's not gonna be adapted from the manga, because I feel like then people are just gonna be like, it's gonna get adapted into the anime anyways, what's the point? I might as well watch something else. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on the changes made in the Demon Slayer Mugen Train movie. Are you still crying over Rengoku's death? Let me know everything in the comment section below. With that said, thank you for watching the first Demon Slayer anime versus manga comparison video. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to Detroit smash that like button below, and don't forget to share this video with your friends. If you are new to the channel and you want to see more anime versus manga content, then be sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on to join the Kitoroki Hero Academia to become my hero. Doing all of this really does help the channel out a lot, and it's always appreciated. Remember to stay plus ultra, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.